I walked the New York streets, swept up in the flood of people rushing nowhere, everywhere, so lost in their own lives and concerns that they rarely look up, rarely notice the places, the faces around them. And yet I feel a strange sense of community as I wend my way downtown. I don't recognize a single person that passes me. But I don't feel alone. How could anyone feel alone in this extraordinary city? It vibrates with energy, with life in a way no other place I've visited does. And I've visited my share across this country, and across the world. But this is where I was born. This is home. And I'm content to be just another face in the crowd. Hood up, head down.
Parker?
Anonymous.
Parker! Hey kid! Didn't you hear me calling you?
No I didn't. What do you want, mister?
Mister? Parker, what are you doing here? Didn't you and Mary Jane just leave for Portland? Don't tell me there's trouble in paradise already.
You've made a mistake. I'm not who you think I am.
What are you babbling about? I've known you since you were a scrawny pimple face adolescent. And what's with the blonde hair? Jeez, Parker, you look ridiculous, you...
I'm not Parker. No matter what lies we tell ourselves about who we are, the truth of our souls is always with us, reflected with painful clarity in our eyes. And he sees it, mumbling awkward apologies, wonders how he could have ever mistaken me for Peter Parker. I just shrug and turn, leaving the great J. Jonah Jameson standing there with his big fat mouth hanging open, and taking no small amount of pleasure in his discomfort. But the pleasure passes quickly. However, much he irritated me, and irritation may be too small a word, Jonah was once an important part of my life. One thread in the intricate tapestry that defined me. No, not me. Him. Parker. But after 5 long years on the road, that name, that life is behind me now. So far behind that it seems like a dream. I may have been Peter Parker once, but I'm Ben Reilly now.
Each of the victims murdered while on a first date. Police are baffled, as there's no apparent connection between.
And I always will be. But the problem is, I don't know who Ben Reilly is. This is more like it. When I slip on the mask, slap on the web shooters, I know exactly who I am and what's expected of me. And I'm happy. Happy because there's a homicidal maniac on the loose? Is that the person I've become? No. That's not it. I'm happy because as Spider-Man, I can find the meaning and purpose I'm missing. Because I know I can make a positive difference in the world. There were times in the past in the dream life I've lived before and I thought being Spider-Man was a curse. But now I see so clearly that it's a blessing.
Look around you at this sea of tombstones, this ocean of rot and dissolution. From the moment we take our first breath, this is the fate that awaits us all. Do you see how I make my body intangible? How your bullets pass harmlessly through me? Nothing can stop me. I am as inevitable as death itself.
Please, I've got a wife, kids.
Family, an illusory bond to give meaning to a meaningless existence. Still, I hope they mourn you when you're moldering in your grave.
The officer falls back, whimpering, weeping, lost in some inexpressible agony. And that seems to be Carrion's specialty. Malcolm McBride was a science major at ESU, devoted to his widowed mother until the Carrion virus turned him into a walking plague. One thought can devour a person's psyche, and one touch can disintegrate human flesh. So given his murderous history, why aren't these police officers already dead? Hey, remember me, Carrion?
Spider-Man, my old enemy. No, he's my friend. He tried to help me. I despise you!
Some spark of Malcolm's consciousness must be alive in there, struggling to keep Carrion in check.
Keep fighting, Malcolm. Don't let him control you.
I don't want Carrion to kill anyone, but I need him to.
You don't need him. He's a disease eating away at you.
But don't you see? Carrion, he protects me.
I'll protect you. I'll keep you safe.
No, I'll never survive without him. I'll never.
Malcolm
is gone. Do you understand now, Spider-Man? I haven't forced my way back. Point at me!
I feel his hands on me and wait for my flesh to burn. But it's not my body he's after, it's my mind. A telepathic flood of grief, a tsunami of unbearable sorrow. I'm drowning. Is it my grief or Malcolm's? My sorrow or his? Drowning! My psyche fragments like a shattered mirror. The pieces float away.
Drowning!
No.
No! Stay the hell out of my head!
Easy, Reilly. Take a breath. Don't react, think. If Carrion wanted you dead, you'd be dead, and those cops would be too. But it's not death he's after. It's the emotions, the grief. He's in pain, and he can't bear it, can't contain it, so he's sharing it, in the only way he knows how. What is it, Malcolm? What's hurt you so much that you had to call Carrion out to protect you? Show me, Malcolm. Show me. It's a terrible risk opening my mind like this, allowing him in. But if he's suffering, if I can help him... I'm afraid I have bad news, Malcolm.
What is it, Doctor?
No! This is too much! It's worth it! Your mother. She's had a stroke.
But she's okay, right?
Let it in. All of it. Too much! She's dead. For Malcolm's sake. Let it in.
Thank you.
Beatrice McBride was the only family Malcolm had. The one person on earth who unconditionally loved and accepted him, despite Carrion's unspeakable sins. And he lost her. He lost everything. And it broke him. That's why you needed Carrion. To release your grief into the world. Make the pain go away. But I learned a long time ago that avoidance doesn't work. Because if you deny the grief, Malcolm, you also deny the love.